Morning, Facebook, yogis and yoginis. Good morning, Instagram. We are here on a very chilly morning, Monday morning in January. We are very happy to be here and delighted to give another hot flow on camera with you guys. I have some people in the studio. Hello, everybody. And please notice we are all masked up because we are indeed in the midst of a pandemic and we do want to help out by offering these classes and this physical practice, but at the same time, we want to be safe. Okay, so first and foremost, be safe. And that is also true for the class. You know you, so modify the poses, listen to my modifications, and take it easy. Listen to your body, to your inner dialogue about the poses, because that is your yoga. Having said that, I will invite you to come to a comfortable position seated on your mat to take a minute just to arrive. So, take a few breaths, no pressure, nothing on your mind, for a brief moment. And then close your eyes slowly and nicely. I always smile. And bring your awareness to the sounds around you, maybe smells around you. I don't know. And use those small information beats to draw everything inward, to draw your attention in. Take a big breath in and let it go. Mm. One more time. Big breath in and let it go. And then use the same awareness to checklist your seated position. Are your shoulders rolled back and comfortable in their place? Is the crown of your head pointing up? Is your spine stacked like rocks in a river, when you put them up with no energy wasted, just using gravity? And then bring your awareness to your sit bones. On your inhale, grow taller. Bring your hands to your heart center and release. We're going to start the practice with the sound of Om. So first a cleansing breath. Inhale. And then Om. 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 Open your eyes and smile. Open your hands to the heavens. Bring them on your knees and start circling yourself only from your sitting bones, slowly and gently, maintaining that integrity of the spine. So we're not rounding the back yet. We are moving from the hips and change direction. It's really, really very gentle, just a swaying sensation to awaken the chakras, some may say. And on your next time you're in the center, bring the right hand to the floor. Bring the left hand above your head, but keep your chest open. Bend to the right. Breathe in. Stretch. Breathe out. Come lower. Take it back to the center and to the other side. Left hand on the ground, right hand behind you. Keep your chest open. Breathe in, stretch, breathe out, bend a little deeper, but again, very respectful to the morning body we have. Come back to the center. Rotate from your hips to the left. Hands, one hand behind you, one in front of you. Just hold it here, twisting from the lower body. Don't do anything with the upper body yet. Come back to center. Do the same to the right. Just breathe. And come back to center. Switch legs. So we always have a preferred one. We want to make sure we're balancing it, right? So take it to the bend to the right. Breathing, stretching, exhaling, coming lower. And then to the other side. Make it a flow. And come back to center. Rotate from the bottom. Hold yourself and roll those shoulders down. Come back to center. Take it to the other side. And come back to center. Bring your feet in front of you on the mat to the width of the mat or so. Bring your hands behind you. Keep them straight. Keep those shoulders back. And push the bum bum to your feet. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, to your feet. So the closest you can to your feet. Stretch the front of your shoulders. So your hands are straight. Pull that chest up. Don't let yourself collapse. Just stretch them. Then lift the bum bum up. Bring it as close as you can to the hands. And drop the legs from one side to the other. So just a little bit of a stretch here to the sides of the body and starting to dig in into the hips. So just use your breath. I like to push the glute up of the back leg. So if I'm on the right, the left glute pushes up as preparation to the next movement. Next time you're on the left side, leave it on the left side. Sweep your right hand around and bring it behind you next to the left hand. Make adjustments so it's easy and comfortable to you. Roll those shoulders down and look to the left. Twist your head to the left. Now maintain the top of your head, the crown of your head pointing to the front of the room or to the bars in this case. For me. And come back to that center. Drop the legs to the right. Sweep the left hand behind you. Adjust the hands in a way that is comfortable to you. Maybe move those hips. Never be afraid to adjust. And then look, twist your head and look to the right. So the cervical spine is part of the game here. And I'm breathing. Excellent. Come back to center. Roll yourself forward a little bit. Release the head in between your legs. If this is not available to you, here is fine. Just release the head so it's hanging heavy. Release the shoulders. And just breathe one breath, opening the lower back. And then come on back up, bringing yourself to boat. So hands under your knees, straighten your back and lean back. At this point, that's all we're doing. Engaging the core by leaning back. Nothing too expensive for the energy of the morning. But we're holding here. If you need and you want something more, you can bring your hands up or to your thighs. But maintain that integrity of the back. And come on back up, pushing from the core forward. Release yourself forward as before. Breathe in and out and set it up again. So straightening your spine, roll those shoulders back. Set it with the sitting bones and then lean back using anything you've got. And you got it, Shravya. If you want, you lift your legs. Beautiful. Just a little bit of an engagement here. I like to twist my ankles here to rotate them. So it gives something, my brain something to do. You can add the wrists. Never, ever too much of a wrist warm up. Yep, we're holding it. And release. Bring the feet together, the soles of the feet together, and walk forward just as far as you can. We're still warming up, we're still adjusting and understanding where our body is today. Then walk the hands to the left corner of the mat and stretch that right side. Release the head. I can't do it because of the mat, of the mic, but you can release the head all the way down to the mat. One breath here. And let it go. Bring yourself back to the center and take it to the right corner of the mat. This time stretching the left side. Release the head to the mat if you can. If not, and it's not there yet, that's fine. The intention of the pose is opening the left side, right? Come back to center. Set yourself back up, putting the feet on the mat again. Setting up for the last boat, just engaging the core. This time, leaning all the way back. So make it count. Make it a really, really nice lean back. Now, once you're here, tuck your chin a little bit and look at your navel. Pull it in. Release the hands in front of you and maybe bring your legs up. Now keep your gaze forward, but that engagement in the core. If you need a little bit more, then straighten your legs and circle wrists and ankles. You can do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release to bound angel, soles of the feet together, and this time just flop, flop, flop. Cross the legs in front of you. Bring the hands in front of you. Push yourself up. Open the legs. Voila, we're in table. An elegant way to get there. Just a suggestion. Now open the knees a little bit to the sides and circle the hips a few times to each direction. And I urge you to find those small places where you need some more attention. So if you do find one of those, just listen to it. Really listen. And obviously switch direction to the circles of your hips. And again, listen to what the body is telling you. And at some point, meet me in the center. Bring those knees back in. Inhale, left hand goes up to the sky. Exhale, thread it under the right. Inhale, come up again. Exhale, thread it under. Inhale, come up again. This time we're staying. Exhale, stay. Maybe you adjust a little bit, bring the cheek, the left cheek and the left shoulder to the mat. I add my right hand on top of my left palm hand and I push back, straightening the right hand. So the twist happens in the upper body as well, in the upper back. Just a suggestion. And release back the hand to the mat, the right hand to the mat. Inhale, left hand goes up and bring it down. Take it to the other side. Right hand comes up. Inhale. Exhale, thread it. Inhale, come up. Exhale, thread it. Inhale, come up. This time staying. So again, adjust yourself in a way that it's comfortable. My hips are up, obviously. Then I bring my right hand on top of my left hand and I straighten it by pushing back. So what's happening is a deeper twist in my shoulder blades, and it's wonderful. Just a suggestion. And bring the left hand back. Inhale, right hand comes all the way up. And back down to the mat. Push yourself to child pose. And tent your fingers. So it's as if you have an orange under the palm of your hand. Release your forehead to the mat. And then lower your shoulders, protract your shoulder blades while the fingers are pushing into the mat, as if your objective is to lift your head with the power of your shoulder blades. It's not going to happen, but that's the intention. So you are rolling the shoulder blades down and they kind of try to meet. And release. Come back to table. Tuck your toes under and sit back. Stretch those feet. Circle the wrists. Maybe eighth. I call this eighth. So you interlace your fingers and you go one way and then the other. And then there is another one that I love. I call magnetic wrists. Believe you have magnetic wrists and then go around and they just can't separate. And if you do one, do the other direction. Just pull in and out. Yeah. And the last one that I'm really very in love with is come back to table, untuck your toes, give it a little bit of a tap, and bring the back of your hand or your palm of your hand to the mat, and then circle it around while moving the body. So your body is going to move around. Remember those magnetic wrists? So this time it's magnetic on the mat, and then circle around. Put some pressure on it, but not too much so you burn yourself from the mat, okay? And take it to the other side. Straightening first and then circle it around. Maybe the body comes in to the game, maybe not, but just put some pressure on the wrist in various points of that circle to see and test the water. Excellent. So a little bit of exploration and different warm up there. Tuck your toes under and bring yourself to a hover. Adjust wrists under shoulders. And now bend your elbows to a tiny, tiny bend, not a big one. So you're holding yourself on your shoulders and release the knees. Release yourself to the heels. Your bum bum goes back to the ankles. Once again, come back up. Toes are tucked. Come to a hover. Bend those elbows just a tiny bit, but tuck those elbows in. So what you are creating is a lot of strength in your shoulders. And release. Tuck yourself back onto your heels, stretching the feet. Maybe sway from side to side just a tiny bit. And come back to that hover. Bend your elbows a little bit. Cows and cat in that hover. Cow and cat. Cow and cat. And release to the ground. Come to child pose. One breath. We're preparing ourselves to downward dog. Maybe sway from side to side. I love swaying from side to side. It's opening the lower back a little bit more before the downward dog. And then push yourself to table. Tuck your toes under. And hips shoot to the sky. Now, one visual here. Downward dog, I'm not here. I'm not over my wrists or my shoulders. I'm pushing the mat away and pushing those hips back and up. So my knees can be bent or not. And then my head let go. So my head is in between my arms. It's never poking out. Walk the dog and breathe. And if you want, you can add a little bend of the elbow, the opposite elbow to the opposite leg. Bringing the forearm to the ground a little bit, stretching in diagonal patterns is so important for the fascia release if you are into that. And at some point, just come to downward dog, whatever it means to you. Maybe leg bent, maybe legs are straight. In any case, keep pushing the mat. So again, the intention of this pose is to lower those shoulder blades away from the ears and thus create that expansive stretch to the spine. Everybody, bend your knees plenty. Look forward. Walk to meet your hands. Hip distance apart for the feet here. Bend at the knees and release your head. So tempting to leave it looking at the mat. Release it. Release. Release the hands. Maybe grab hold of opposite elbows. And with every exhale, move lower. And you do that by sucking the belly in a little bit more and pushing those hips a little bit higher.
Maybe sway from side to side if this is something you like to do. And breathe. Inversions are so important. Remember when we were kids? We were upside down all day long. My kids watch television upside down on the sofa. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And we forgot about it. So be silly. On your next inhale, come all the way up slowly, really slowly. Maybe push yourself on the thighs and then tuck your tailbone in.
Scan your spine in your imagination and make sure it's all stacked up. Roll those shoulders back, open the hands, and I've been saying this, open your hands for the future. The future is forward, right? So here, bring it on, right? Inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky. Look up, grow taller before bringing some energy down and folding forward.
Forward fold, one breath. On your inhale, bring your hands to your shins and halfway lift. Stay here for a moment. Micro bend in your knees. Engage core. Bring the hands behind your neck. Keep your gaze to the mat down so the crown of your head is pointing forward. Tuck your chin a little bit. Hold the hands here. And now the intention of this pose is open those elbows up. Open the chest in this kind of a power hold. Engage the core. One more breath. Open those elbows a little bit more. And release down, bringing the hands to the mat. Stepping the legs back to plank. Adjust. So wrists under the shoulders. Chaturanga Dandasana. Halfway down. So tuck your elbows in. Untuck your toes. Inhale. Upward dog. Inhale, tuck your toes under. Exhale, downward dog. Walk the dog. Stretch those sides of the body. Once again, I offer you diagonal stretch by lowering the forearm, the opposite forearm, to the ground while walking the dog. It doesn't have to go all the way to the ground. Just bend your elbow a little bit. It brings another stretch to the downward dog. And then at some point, just come to stillness. Inhale. Exhale. Push that mat away. Say yes and no with your head. Roll those shoulders back, away from your ears. Engage the core. Suck your belly in. Push those hips up. On your next inhale, bend your knees plenty. Look forward, hop or walk to meet your hands. Forward fold. Bring yourself to a stretch, maybe cha-cha-chaing the knees, like Joe says. And on your next inhale, come all the way up. Slowly, slowly, slowly.
So remember, exhale to heart center. Transition is a pose. Inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky. Look up, leave the hands up. Roll the shoulders down, let your head go back. Engage glutes and a tiny bit of a back bend, just a tiny bit. And come back to center. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Strong in your core. Remember that thing we did. That's where you need to be.
Exhale, hands to the mat, legs jump or walk to plank. One breath here. Engage the glutes, tuck your tailbone under, engage the core. Open your chest, round it. So lately, I've been thinking about it, and it feels like I have an orange in my armpit, and my armpits and my shoulder blades are rounding around it. That opens my upper body some more. On your next exhale, lower the knees, untuck your toes, and come all the way to the mat, slowly, 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 using your hands. One breath here. Adjust the feet. I like to open them a little bit in Cobra. Some people like to zip them together like Bikram. It's up to you. On your next exhale, roll those shoulders down first, and then pick yourself up, engaging the legs. Look down to the mat. Engage the legs, engage the back. Don't push with your hands. Breathe. And release. Stay here, stay with me. One more breath, lower your heart rate. You can do it. 2 more sets and then party time. Again, engage the legs. Engage your lower back by protecting it with the glutes. Roll those shoulders down. Inhale. Exhale, peel yourself up higher. Look down. Engage the legs. One more breath. Inhale. And lower down. Maybe windshield your legs if that's something you like to do. But just breathe. Last one. If you wish, you can come to full cobra or stay in baby cobra. So set it up. Engage the legs. Shoelace side of your feet are drilling into the mat. Also the glutes. Inhale. Exhale, peel the chest up. Look down. Then straightening your hands to full cobra, maybe looking forward. Roll those shoulders back. Yes. And release to table and to child pose. And as I said, I promised party time, some water, some rearranging of the face, whatever it takes to set it up. There's nothing like cold water in a hot room, right? It's like, I don't know, a mirage kind of sorts in the middle of the desert. So, whenever you're ready, come back to table. Maybe some cats and cows because we worked so hard in Cobra. Maybe wagging your tail, releasing your head, just enjoying an unstructured movement here. And one more breath, tuck your toes under, push it to downward dog. In the immortal words of Salt and Pepper, push it, push it, push it, push it. Old school hip hop, you guys. All right, on your next inhale, lift the right leg up. Straight. Hold it for a breath and checklist here. If you're changing your weight, it shouldn't. Then bend the leg to your chest, lift the back heel, bring yourself over the wrists, flex your foot, and step it in between your hands. The reason being I'm doing it so slow is to Build that control, not just fall into the front step. Now, lower that back heel, not all the way to the ground, but just a little bit so you can push your hips back. And then straighten the front leg and bring that foot up, the right foot. That's it. I forgot the side. Great. If you want some more here, release your head. A beautiful, beautiful hamstring stretch before we work it. And bring it back to runners by bending the knee just over the ankle, maybe adjusting here. Engage the back leg plenty and come to a high lunge. Hands are opening to the ground. Believe me, that grounds you so much. And then tilt yourself forward a little bit. Look to the top of your mat. Inhale, exhale. And bend the back leg, coming to crescent. So in crescent, the back leg is bent, but you're tucking the tailbone in. So you're not sassing it out. Your front knee is stuck over your right ankle. And you're just standing here enjoying this trembling sensation, which I'm feeling too, believe me. Then only if you have healthy knees, bounce a couple of times and then come as low as you can and hold it for a breath. And then release the back knee, untuck your toes, bring your hands to the front thigh and walk it forward just a tiny bit, toe heel it forward and stretch. Yeah. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And I've been changing my opinions because I'm reading. And stretching is not really stretching, it's just a word. So it's really important to stretch before the hard work, not just after. So, you know, some hard work is going to come. Bring your hands to the floor. Toe heel that front leg to be in between your hands. Tuck the toes under on the back leg. Come to runners and shift your weight forward to a standing split. Now, if standing split is not in your practice, bend both legs and stay here. Okay? Standing split. If you are very bendy, and this is not much of a stretch, bring your head to your shin. Hold it, I know, just hold it. Inhale, exhale, bend both legs, everybody, and bring the left leg to meet the right, hip distance apart, coming to chair. You can do it. Tuck that tailbone in, roll the shoulders back. You can do it. Shift your weight into the right leg again. Push that left leg back to airplane. Hold it here. And release the back leg to the mat, coming to a high hover, just as we did before. Inhale, bring the hands to the ground, and this time, toe heel the right leg out of the mat to the right, and do some stretches in lizard. If you're a bendy type, you can bring your forearms. If this is too much, lower the back knee. Bring your feet, the palms of your hands to the mat again, and then push, straightening the leg forward and push it straight back to plank. Now that takes time, you guys. So we're in plank. Breathe in, breathe out. On your next exhale,
We're going to lower our body in the count of 6. So slowly, 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 tuck the elbows. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Windshield the legs and pay attention to the difference between the hips, between the legs, the thighs. Oh boy, I'm feeling it. I hope you too. I'm not sure you love me, but I'm sure you feel it. All right, push yourself back to table. Maybe a quick child pose here. Maybe a quick sip of water if you need. Don't wait for me to tell you. Just do it. And at some point, prepare yourself in table. A little bit of those movements just to readjust and reset the body. Tuck your toes under and push up. Downward dog. Make all the small adjustments you need. Release the head, roll the shoulders back, engage core. On your next inhale, left leg goes up. Make it intentionally so that you're not changing any distribution of weight. One breath here. And then transition slowly. Bend the leg to your chest. Lift the back heel. Push yourself over your wrists. Flex the foot and step it. Low, 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 low. Runners, adjust a little bit. Lower that back heel, but not all the way to the ground. And then straighten the front leg. Push that left foot towards your shin. Beautiful stretch before the work. So, a lot of research is showing that muscles don't really stretch. It's weird, but it's true, apparently. We are more into other words now, and I'll sip them through. All right, bring it back to runners. Adjust the back leg and come to a hover. Just for a minute here, and then bend the back leg and come to crescent. So 2 breaths here. Knee stacked over the front heel. Tuck your tailbone in. That will create a lot more work. Roll those shoulders down. A couple of bouncy, bouncy, and then lower to the lowest point, holding for a breath. And then release the back foot, untuck your toe, bring that front leg, toe heeling it forward a little bit, and stretch that right hip flexor. Try to keep the hips square to the front. Modifications here, lowering the hands. If you need more of a challenge, go ahead, full split. I'm not that courageous this morning. I'm taking it easy. I'm here. Or actually, right, blocks under your hands too. Keep on breathing. This is so important, you guys. The way you square your hips is by engaging the glutes. Excellent. Bring the legs, the hands to frame the leg. Tuck the toe under, come to runners, and then toe heel the leg to the side of the mat, the left leg coming to lizard. So lizard, we can stay here, lower the back heel, or lower the forearms. Just enjoy. I know it's hard, but it's so much fun after the class is done. And the most fun is in the shower, right? Okay, come on back up. And now try that thing I said. Straighten the leg as far as you can. Lift it and push it around. Yeah, it's another trick.
And now, plank on the count of 6, coming down all the way to the mat. 6, tuck those elbows in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Windshield the legs and breathe. Intentionally lower your heart rate. You can do it. You can talk to your heart. You can have an inner dialogue with it and help him. The heart is connected to the brain, but it doesn't have a brain of its own. If you're pushing your body, it's going to go to a hyperdrive. If your brain tells it, it's okay, we're just having fun, it will calm down. Push yourself to table. Push yourself to a little happy baby. Back up to table, and then back up to downward dog. Inhale, exhale. Right leg goes up. Bend it and step it in between your hands using control. Open up to warrior 2. I always have to adjust my front leg. I don't know about you. So take the time to do it. And I like it in a T, so my feet are in a T. And then check your knee. Open the hands. Make sure your shoulders are stacked over your hips, but your gaze is front, right, to the right hand. Then maybe tuck your tailbone in, engage the core, and roll those shoulders down. One breath here. And exhale. Flip the front hand and reverse the warrior only from your hips. Your left hand can do whatever, on the hip, on the thigh, or coming around. Stay here for one more breath. Then bring the left hand to hold onto the right hand wrist. Straighten the front leg and stretch yourself back a little bit more, pulling on that wrist. Come back to warrior 2, bending the front knee. On your next exhale, forearm to your thigh, and circle the hand back, the left hand, right? Just circle a few times, regulating your breath. And at some point, stay open, inside angle. Challenge is to look up, roll those shoulders down. If you find it hard to ground yourself, look down. One more breath here. And come back using your core to warrior 2. Bring the front leg to be to be parallel to the left. And take a moment here. Open your hands, roll those shoulders back, engage the core, open your chest, and come to a forward fold, pushing those hips back. That's the key. When you're down, keep a micro bend in your knees, maybe bringing the toes inward a little bit. That will protect your knees. And just release yourself down. If you need more of a challenge, bring the hands to your heels and pull down so your head maybe is touching the mat. Don't forget that micro bend in your knees. One more breath here, pulling those hips up and pulling with your hands to the ground, or rather to your legs and the head to the ground. And then bring the hands to the center in between your legs and bend the right leg to a side lunge. Now here you have plenty of modifications. You can lift the heels of both legs while doing it. You can leave them on the ground. You can even try and maybe bringing your hips to your hands and going to side lunges. Or you can do as slow as you can. If you are bringing your hips to your hands to your hips, open the legs a little bit, the feet. Side lunges, not low if you are like me with hands on your hips. And then at some point, return to center. Engage the core, micro bend in your knees, and come all the way up. Return to warrior two by opening the toes to the front of the room, the right leg. Cartwheel the back leg and the back hand to meet the front. Yep, and do it nicely. Yeah, yeah. Whoop! Cartwheel. One of these days, right? Okay. Hip distance apart. Circle sweep your hands. Come to chair. Release yourself to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Jump or push to plank. Chaturanga Dandasana here. So, halfway down, untuck your toes. Upward dog or baby cobra. It's your choice, you guys. Tuck your toes under, downward dog. Walk the dog just a tiny bit, right? And left leg goes up to the air. Bend it and step it in between your hands. Lower that back heel and come to warrior two on the other side. I just realized that I might have skipped the standing split. I'll bring it in, you guys. So, you know what? A little modification before the flow. Bring the back leg to meet the front, to chair. Come to chair. Shoot the left leg to the back because it was not on the right leg. Bring your hands to the ground. Sorry about that, you guys. Trying to fix a flow here. And then push yourself forward to a standing split. Now this can be with the legs bent. Maybe bringing the head and lower that left leg. And I think I messed it up again. So take the right leg up to a standing split because I messed it up again. Just here for 2 breaths. If you need, bend both knees. If you want more of a challenge, bring that knee to meet your forehead or shin. And release to chair. Push the right leg back, warrior two. Ha ha! Did it! Okay, that was not something to be happy about, but we'll carry on. Reverse the right hand and flow back to reverse the warrior. Right hand can do whatever. Just breathe. Lower those shoulders. On your next inhale, bring your hand to hold that wrist. And then straighten the front leg. Maybe stretch a little bit more. Archer stretch of sorts. And bring it back to warrior two. Breathe. Bring the forearm to the thigh. And then circle the hand a few times, releasing the tension in that shoulder, which we just stretched.
At some point, open the hand to the sky and stay here. Checklist. Lower those shoulders, tuck the tailbone in, push those hips forward, engage core. Now, you are not collapsing into your arm. In fact, you can even lift it and nothing is going to change in your core. Okay? One more breath here. And come back to warrior two. This time bring the left foot to be parallel to the front. And this time bring the heels in to goddess. I hope we are all set with the thighs, even though I just reverse the flow. Just tuck your tailbone in here. I'm going to face you guys. Bring your hands to whatever position you want, either here, either mudra, lotus mudra, whatever. And we're going to go up and down as low as you can. Don't hold back. Up and down. Up. Tuck that tailbone in. And down. Up. Two more. And down. Two. And down. One. And down. Stay here. Bring your hands to your thighs and give yourself a nice stretch to the upper body by bringing the shoulders forward. Here, try to keep on engaging the tailbone in. Don't let that natural curve play you. And come back up all the way. Bring the feet parallel to each other. Bring the left leg to open to the front, setting up toward with your breath to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift.